Hi guys, this is Mahendra Napawa speaking, and today I'd just like to present a new idea that I had last week. I had this idea in the lecture, and I feel that there's a lot of potential in it. So yeah, I think it's something that's doable. So it's a tablet to be simple. It's not just another tablet. In fact, I'd like to call it a slate, as in like specifically a single purpose slate. It differs a lot from a tablet in many ways. RAJOO is an educational slate designed specifically to be used in lectures and classrooms, and mostly lectures. Yeah, it actually just has two goals in mind. The first goal is to get students to learn in a more effective way, because at the moment, if you go into lectures and you observe them, learning, personally I think learning is not being very effective. And the second aim of RAJOO is to help in the transitioning from the traditional learning environment to a more digital learning environment. I know the iPad 2 with its iBooks and all, just last week or 2 weeks ago I've tried to do this, but I think that this is a better idea in fact. So usually you just go into a lecture with a book or an examination pad or a test pad, and you write down your notes, and yeah, you probably go back and look at your notes and stuff. I've noticed that if you have a look at your friend's notes, or when you look at someone else's notes in class, you get a different angle to it. Like you've written a good set of notes, but you can't, you don't have a full grasp of it. So in cases like that, when you have a look at your friend's notes, which is essentially the same thing because you both attended the same lecture, but when you have a look at your friend's notes, you have a different insight, because what is happening is the same knowledge is being shared throughout the whole class, and it gets processed by each student's brain and how they think and how they'd want to put it in words to say. So all this information gets processed by 50 students or 100 students depending on the size of the class, and it goes down into words in a notebook or in a test pad. So the aim of RAJOO is that if this information is shared among all of them, all of the students, it will help give them a different insight, a different angle into that subject. And with that, it will help the students to learn in a much more faster way, in a much more effective manner. The way RAJOO works is that it will recognize, it has some built-in recognizing patterns, and it will recognize the title, and it will search for similar title documents, and so give it to you. Rather than you searching for things, you write down your version of what you learned. So again, it's not a general purpose search tool, because you won't be able to just take it and search for something. That is something that you do on your iPad, that is something that you do on your computers, on your mobile. What this slate does is that you write, you learn from your primary source, you learn from your lecturer, you go for tutorials, you learn, and then you make your own notes, and then that will be exchanged in return for another person's learning. So the beauty of this is that as more and more people use it, it will go inter-university and internationally. So if you are learning medicine, say for example in Dublin, and you'd be able to have an exchange of notes with some student in Ohio or anywhere in US or in India or in China. So you'd have like a nice, you're in a way you're connected with all these different students. The most important thing here is the angle. You get a different angle, like perhaps the lecturer in Canada would have had a more novel idea of teaching it, and so the student there would have understood it more, or would have understood it in an easier manner, and he would have made notes out of it, and you will be able to exchange it with him. So it works both ways. Even if you are the top student in class, it doesn't help it doesn't hurt, it doesn't hurt for you to, if you have a look at a different notes and you'd say, yes, I didn't really read that, because at the end of the day we are all not machines. Even if you're the best student, there's some things that you'd probably not know. So if you have an access to hundreds of different notes of the same topic, you'd still find a few things to learn. So it's not a system to reward the lazy students or the I don't know, less intelligent students, but it actually rewards everyone. I sincerely think so. Second problem, a possible problem, is that someone would say that if the system is so easily abused, in the sense that if you just write the title and then draw something offensive, or write the title and just scribble all your way in, well, that is a very easy problem to solve, because we'll have a system to flag as inappropriate, or flag as spam, and etc. And I would like to choose to think that we will not be having that kind of problem a lot, because at the end of the day, if you have a look at Wikipedia, it is public encyclopedia. It's anyone can edit it for the most part. So and when it is in such a state, it's not like it's filled with shit articles, but it actually has a lot of informative articles and good quality. Millions of people are using it every day. So if people are not bombarding Wikipedia with just nonsense, then you'd also expect good stuff in this slate. The thing about the iPad is it's so expensive, and it is something that people would like to take care of. If you want to radically change the way people learn, in class every day, you'd want to have something as versatile as a book, something that you can just take and throw, or you can throw it in the bag without it getting scratched and all. So iPad is more of a luxury device. Our slate will be purpose built for classroom, which means that we can afford to have a very low building cost, so we can have a higher accessible. We can go as far, we can go to India, we can go to China, and we can mass deploy it in a very fast manner. You'd say that there is 20 million iPads out there being used by people every day, but how many people would actually want to write on it every day? Like, I for one know that I wouldn't want to use my iPad as a lecture tool, because it's so expensive, and just the way it's designed is not, it's not something you want to use it as a book as, you pay $500. So that is why the relevancy of our own slate comes in the manner. But we also have plans for an iPad app, for those students who do not want to carry an extra device. We could have an app on the iPad that emulates the same things that the slate does. But again, the relevancy of our slate is proven here, because the slate is built from scratch to be something that the student wants to carry every day, as versatile as a book. Whereas the iPad was not built to be such a device. It was a device built to be based on touch. It's a touch-based device. It wasn't designed for writing. So that is why I say again that we have potential to create RAJOO, the educational slate. And I think it really has potential. Like, if it does really well in schools and lectures and all, it could even be as famous as the iPad, I would say, because it just is a new way of learning. When you think about it, at the end of the day, it's a very novel way of learning. Like, you don't go to the internet and search stuff, but you learn. The principle of the thing is that you learn from a source first, and then you write what you know, and then you get a different idea, or a different angle, or a different insight of the same knowledge, of the same topic. So it's a different way of learning. You are not you're not taking that slate, you're not taking RAJOO to learn something from zero. That is the job of the internet, where you have the computer, your mobile, your iPad. When you take the RAJOO, it has a specific purpose in mind to gain a different insight, not to learn something new, but to gain a different insight. You would have already learned or have some knowledge about it previously. You see, so I think it's a great new way, a different approach to the whole learning process, and I think it has great potential. I know I've said that many times, but yeah. So the hardware and the software would be something that we are very passionate about. Like I am very passionate about hardware, software, and all these tech gadgets. So we would emphasize on a good working design, as in we wouldn't try to create another iPad, because that is not our intention. But we will create a working design, a workable design, a design that works, and we will have a very robust software on it. Again, it will not be it will not have games, it will not have calculators or any of that, because our purpose is very clear. Number one is to change the way people learn. I mean, I'm just re-saying what I said earlier, which is to change from the conventional learning to digital learning. And number two is to give different insights, is to give different angles into the same knowledge, into the same problem, so that will allow people's mind and brain to think, oh, I did not think about it in that way, oh yeah, this is true too, oh, how intelligent. So it is not just the mechanism for one student to lazily copy off another student's notes. It has something more noble in its background, and the opportunities are really great. Once you have gone international, you can do it in between schools, countries. I think it's a great idea. And yeah, let me know what y'all think. Thanks, bye bye.